This is an absolute classic Norwegian sunset, filmed from Elnesvågen towards Gossen. Come to Norway, see the sunset. You never lived until you have. Overnighting with a friend, I was again lucky to have the room I'm usually given. This is not far from Elnesvågen, and as you can see, the window shows a view which is quite out of this world. In the background, those mountains are on Uterøy. As I seem to derive some of my income from tourism, I decided that it was a good idea to attend a meeting about tourism, which I had been invited to. There were a good number of people present, quite a few of which I knew, and they were delighted to receive my brochures on Tara trawling. I also met a couple who might be quite interested in having somebody take people out fishing in the new year. Sometimes, though, it seems that the organisers of such events can be a little bit concerned that it is not going exactly as planned. I seem to sometimes be given the blame for this. This is an absolutely tremendous adventure for me. I am now on the way to Aukra for a meeting concerning the war and my father. There is his portrait on the left.
Men det stort sett det eneste dere får vite om nå I kveld. For jeg skal ikke stå I fokus.
So two people are going to talk tonight about the war. The first is Aud Mork from the housemother's perspective, and the second is Asbjørn Winstad om Sven Sømme, my father. The introduction also goes on to say that Aukra Kommune is very interested in gathering information and registering information about the Second World War and what happened. So this is really quite something for the local community and indeed myself.
Utarbeide en kulturminneplan der vi registrerer kulturminner. Og det ikke bare det at vi skal registrere kulturminner, men vi skal formidle det også, og dette her en del av det. 6 foredrag I år som handler om krigshistorie. For myndigheten vil at vi skal satse spesielt på krigshistorie I 2015-2016.
Kan du bli med meg? Se for deg en ung kvinne I 20-åra.
Imagine a young woman in her 20s going out to the barn with a candlelight to sort the cows out and to sort out various things. She grabs a large arm of hay and suddenly something heavy falls out. It's an unexploded grenade.
Den unge I fjøsgangen, hun henger opp lamp. Hun går inn og tenner lykta I fjøsen, og hun går for å hente den første vanndelen på andre siden av løa, som hun hadde laget dagen før. Da hun tar opp den vanndelen, så detter noe tungt ut av høybøret som hun har. Og hun ble litt redd og torde ikke å ta I det der. Men hun for ut, og heldigvis var mannen hjemme. Han ringte til lensmann. Om en stund så dukket det opp 2 tyske offiserer, der det var forhør. Har dere fiender? Har dere engelske fiender? Har dere hverandre? Og mamma stod der og sa, for dere forstår sikkert at det der jeg skal fortelle om I dag, om min egen mor som hun har fortalt. Hun stod der og sa, nei.
If the grenade had exploded, I would not be standing here today. That was my mother.
Så hva som lå, så var det en granat som ikke hadde gått av. Og vi ser en dag I dag hålet I løveggen der han gikk ned I høystålet. Tyskerne tok den granaten.
Eventually, the Germans came and took the grenade away and put it out in a bog and detonated it. And the hole was massive, and it is still there today.
Hadde den eksplodert, så har hverken jeg, eller Julianne, søstera mi, eller de andre stått her i dag. Det var krig. Tenk det var Totland, og det var tyske og oppmarsj av russefanger.
Litt annet, og da sier vi vær så god til Asbjørn Vinstad.
Det er vanskelig å fortelle så glitrende og livaktig det jeg skal gjøre. For det har med nerver, det har med redsel og gru og hemmelighet å gjøre. Jeg har ikke skrevet noe. Jeg hentet
Asbjørn says that he hasn't written anything himself, but most of the information he has comes from Sven Sømmers, that is my father's book, which he wrote himself.
Her jeg skal få. Det er det ene. Så er det Aukra gjennom tidene, 2008 og 2009. Der er det ganske mye om Hole, om Knut Huse, Sigrid Undset og alle som jeg kommer inn på. Her er en glimrende liten bok. Paul Breivik. Jeg skrev om okkupasjonsåret. Oi. Fullt av små historier. Artige og alvorlige og alt mulig. Så er det Ragnar Ulstein. Her er det utdrag, og han skrev kolossalt mye om etterretning, Englandsfarten og slik. Og her blant annet så står det om Sven Sømme som kommer inn på, så fikk laget radiostasjon, lyttestasjon på Haren. I Emma, sammen med han som sitter
It was a strange feeling to sit there and to be introduced. Fortunately, one of my father's best friends' son was also there, Svein Erik Skarsbø. We're working on this.
Og vi holder på i en lokal dugnadsgruppe og samler inn.
The idea of the project is to collect both published and unpublished material. In the Homefronts Museum in Oslo, there are 12 meters of unread German manuscripts on the war.
Så ikke noen har sett på. Det er masse som må gjøres.
Father made a recording for Swedish radio in Sweden in 1944, and we have a copy of that. So that is going to be quite an interesting piece.
Vi må spore opp og få tak i mer informasjon. Et stort mål, det er å få gitt ut en biolog på flukt. Den er mer spennende, i alle fall for meg, enn noen som helst krimbok om det Nesbø eller Holt eller hva det er. Det er en fantastisk bok.
Asbjørn goes on to say that my father was central in the organization of XU, the major resistance group for the entire region during the war. The journey home was long and dark, and I had many, many thoughts and feelings to contend with. I was especially touched by the kindness and interest in all the people of Aukra and Gossen, and especially Asbjørn himself. I'm also learning more and more about my father and what a fantastic person he was. Still trying to fix the water pump on the boat.
Stick a little bit of diesel on it. Just enough to get it wet. And we light the diesel, like so. It seems to work very well. And then we stick it in the stove, like so. And we turn the stove on, and hopefully we'll get that shut.
Then we should have a cup of tea in no time at all. Now to today's job. Put a new water pump. The problem wasn't really technical, it was more mechanical. I just couldn't get the bloody nuts undone. Finally, I got the help of an expert. My friend Trygve volunteered to come down and to remove the water pump. He actually spent 40 odd minutes jolly nearly standing on his head, as you can see here, over the motor. I was most impressed. It takes a lot of stamina to do that. This is Ada, and a view second to none. Truly awesome. I decided to visit to the recycling centre there, and on the way back I decided to stop in and visit the farm shop. Frankly, the view there was even more outstanding. As you can see, the mountains. There we are, that's one of my favourite camping places, just there. What you got to do is call this telephone number. So I asked for her strongest cheese. The smell from the open cheese was alarming, to say the least, but the taste was awesome, absolutely awesome. Yet another knife, this time in solid boxwood from the old priory at Ufcombe. The wood is apparently well over 400 years old. This shows the knife and the profile and the way I sharpen it. Drawers from my old boat, I couldn't bear throwing them away. Thursday, it's fishing again. I usually use bait if I can. Around here most people don't. I seem to be quite lucky with my fishing, perhaps it's in connection with the worms, but they take quite some effort to get, and this is one of my favourite worm digging places. I reckon about 30 worms will give me a good session, and here they are quite large. 8-9 inches is not unusual. That's a good 7 or 8 inches long. No, that's 9 inches. This is the famous Atlanterhavsveien coming up to Storseinsundbrua. I was a little bit miffed in my travels along there to be stopped yet again because a film crew is filming. I just thought I'd go along and see what it was all about, and I had a little sort of chat with one of the guys there. This is for the big film The Snowman, which everybody is talking about. The last was filmed by the GoPro. The more I use it, the more impressed I am, but it's a tool you need to understand to get the best out of it. I'm not sure I do yet, it's going to take a while.